Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. From the Sugar Shack Studios in Texas, USA, it is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we announce the very special car that we'll have in the In Wheel Time booth at Autorama this year with the owner of said car, Mr. Jim Tilley. We'll also have the upcoming events calendar. Mr. Mars reviews the redesigned Jeep Compass. And later, a special segment with standout stories.
That's good. Did you write that?
Did you read that before you read it?
I did. I wrote it. But I just wanted to...
It didn't flow.
Well, I paused just for a moment for emphasis.
Effect.
Yeah, effect. So, at any rate, all that and more coming up in this hour, or half hour, depending on whether or not you're going to download a podcast later on.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a live show, so in the next hour, you'll hear that and more. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, who's on the phone with our guest, who's trying to dial in right now. King Conrad DeLong is here. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes, always.
Letting me in the Sugar Shack.
In the Sugar Shack. And Mr. Jeffrey, we always need more Jeff Zegan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Don Armstrong, or not.
Because nobody else wants to be.
That's for sure. They do not want to be me. But at any rate, so we have, are we going to be able to do this, Mr. Mars?
Yeah, give me a minute here.
Give him a minute. Give him a minute.
So in the meantime and in between time, we're going to move on with the show and work and let Mr. Mars worry about, let me turn it.
There you go.
Let Mr. Mars worry about getting our guest lined up, which should have happened about 10 minutes ago, but didn't. But at any rate, so I'm going to read you a little story.
Okay.
And you may or may not know of this name, but perhaps you do. And the gentleman that we're talking about, his real name is Norm Krause. He passed away in February of 2021, and this story was written right before then. So just have to keep that in mind. So here's the story from Hemmings, Hemmings.com. Ready?
Yep.
Perhaps no one was responsible for more sales of Dodge performance vehicles during the muscle car era than Norm Krause, also known as Mr. Norm. As the co-owner of Grand Spalding Dodge in Chicago from 1962 to 1977, his focus on high performance helped it become the biggest Dodge dealership in the world. Norm and his brother Lynn, his co-owner, got their start selling used cars as teenagers in the late 1940s from their father's gas station. Making just 3 cents per gallon pumping gas and cleaning windshields, they wanted something more. At the suggestion of a customer, quote, "My brother and I went out and bought a bagel, a cheap car," recounts Norm. We brought it back and put it in the corner of the gas station, cleaned it up, and sold the car the next day and made $60 on it.
Ooh.
So,
That's a lot
with
of
a
gas.
steady business, the brothers broke through in the late 1950s when they sold a 1956 Chevy convertible with a V8 and a manual transmission. Paying by the character for a classified ad, they squeezed in, quote, "Call Mr. Norm," end quote, which soon became a signature for the business. But the car itself proved very popular. The next morning, Norm says, I must have had 25 calls. By 10 a.m., I had already delivered it. By 11, my brother, who was out buying cars, called me and I said, do not buy a regular car again. Buy all 4 speeds. We got an education in performance from our customers. We got so well known in the Chicago area, that's when Dodge came in. In the fall of 1962, still with only a small office and no real showroom, Grand Spalding Dodge opened. At just 28 years old, Norm Krause was the youngest Dodge dealer in the country. I think the first month we sold about 35 cars, Norm says.
Wow.
From that day on, it was totally performance. As one of the first dealers to install a dynamometer, Grand Spalding was able to properly tune their customers' cars, which were notoriously detuned from the factory. The first 383 we put on our dyno registered 180 horsepower, says Norm. I said, what the hell's going on here? Let's set it up and see what she'll do. With a little work, they were able to get that 383 to make a reliable 325 horsepower,
Wow.
Norm said, and he made a quick decision. That's going to be done on every car that goes out of our door. Every high-performance customer is going to get a free dyno tune. When we sold a high-performance car, we had the car dynoed right in front of the customer.
That's cool.
When a minor sponsorship one weekend turned into 5 sales by Wednesday, on Thursday, Norm was ready to go racing. Not wanting to compete against his customers, he decided to build a match race car. He said, our first 1964 supercharged car became one of the first funny cars in the country because we went out racing. We were running against all the gassers and the rails. There weren't any funny cars back then. The 1965 X-Factory lightweight car allowed them to run well into the 8s when the competition was in the 9s,
Wow.
putting Mr. Norm on the map nationwide. So with their booming performance business, Grand Spalding was selling cars and parts all over the country. People from as far away as Alaska came to buy Mopars. Such was Norm's influence. He could single-handedly get Chrysler to produce a new model. When Chrysler said that a big block Dart was impossible, Norm had his top mechanic stuff a 383 into one, and he drove it to the Detroit area to prove it could be done. Thus was born the Dart GTS. The following year, he asked Chrysler to build him a 440 Dart. They built 50 for him, which he was easily able to sell as the Dart GSS for Grand Spalding Sport. The Krause brothers grew their business into the largest Dodge dealer in the world, selling trucks, vans, and standard cars, along with the high-performance models. When others were turning away the younger crowd, Grand Spalding courted them. The competition didn't want to deal with a young fellow. If I caught a salesman playing games with a kid, his ass was in trouble. That was a quote. In 1977, Norm sold his share of the dealership, which closed within a couple of years. Still in his 40s, he wanted to spend more time with his family, something not possible when on the showroom floor from Monday through Friday and then at the racetrack on weekends. He later had a furniture business on the site of one of the dealership buildings and then sold used cars again. In the past 20 years, now mind you, this story was written before he died, he's worked with his Performance West group to market newer products that use his name under license. He still gets out to shows where the Mr. Norm persona still draws fans. Mr. Norm, he explains, was an image that was built into the dealership. When I walked out at the end of the day, I wasn't Mr. Norm anymore. I was Norm Krause. I learned to be a humble winner on the track and a gracious loser. I'm just glad I didn't have to be gracious too much.
Wow.
End
There's a
quote.
lot of questions.
Think of
come up.
how much fun Chicago must have been back then, because Dickie Harrell was in Chicago as well.
Well, and not only that, but was it a regional thing? Because he seems like he started this and then it started to expand. So he kind of stepped into it with his knowledge and, of course, his business sense, his business acumen on that. Chicago started it and it grew.
Well,
I'm sure.
and proof of concept, because he knew that there was so much untapped horsepower in the vehicles that were detuned from the factory.
Exactly.
And being the only one out there that was willing to stand up and say, you want to come watch me make horsepower with your car? Watch me on the dyno.
8-second quarter mile.
Back
in
then was crazy.
1962.
Exactly. You can't do that today
No.
without safety and fire equipment and helmets and
That was in the pre-funny car days. Those
Yeah.
were called AFX cars, altered factory experimentals. And he was getting them from Chrysler. How cool
no,
was
he was
that?
creating them.
And all of that really came out of the post-World War II era when the guys, mainly out in California, were hot rodding their cars.
Mhm.
And that movement spread across the country really quickly.
That
back in
actually,
the day.
to the hot rodding aspect in California, were veterans from the Air Force started that because they were using the belly tanks and they knew how to tune a rotary engine at high altitude. So they took that knowledge, made their own parts, brought it back down to earth,
Created
started
more horsepower.
exactly. But it was a lot of the Air Force people that actually started in the hot rod. I watched a show on it not very long ago. That was the birth,
Origin.
so to speak. Yeah.
Well,
Well-
and Mr. Norm's definitely got, in the Mopar world, his name is top of the line.
Yeah.
We talked before the show, that was, Dickie Harrell, the Yanko, the Baldwin. See, I'm an East Coaster, so Baldwin
Yep.
Motion was out of Long Island, New York. Harrell out of Chicago.
Oh, forget about it.
Dickie Yanko was Cannonville, Pennsylvania, suburbs, I think, of
All up there in the
Philly.
northeast.
The Northeast, yeah.
Philly. So each of those regional guys became a name, and today at a Mecum or the Barrett Jackson auction, those cars are priceless almost, though people are going to pay money for them, but those cars with that kind of a heritage are highly desirable in the auction world.
So, needless to say, we don't have Jim Tilley with us on the line.
Yeah.
Mr. Mars is still working on that. But I'm going to tell you right now that Jim Tilley
Drum roll.
has a 1965 Dodge Coronet 500 with a 426 wedge in it.
You want to pull it up?
It's a Mr. Norm car. Yes, if you would, please. It's a Mr. Norm car. And it's rare, and it's worth a bajillion dollars, and it is going to appear in the in-wheel time booth at Autorama this year. So we're really excited about that.
And if you're watching on any of the channels, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't have a number on the side of it or advertising or anything like that. It was sold, from what I understand, to a gentleman there in the Chicago area who bought it new and drove it.
And that's the way, these were just cars he sold.
Yeah.
He didn't sell them as race cars. He just sold them as cars, and people turned them into race cars.
Right. And I think Mike said this is, 10 of 400 or something? Or
Yeah,
some
something like
outrageous number like
We'll
that?
find out
Yeah.
about it. But at any rate, so there you have it. That's what's going to be in the in-wheel time booth this year. And of all the cars that we've had, this is one that I'm more excited about than any of the others. Not that any of the others were anything other than
Less,
spectacular.
right.
I mean, I think that the first show I had the Corvette in there, my Corvette in it.
And then the Corvair.
The Corvair.
The Corvair was in there. We had John Hovis's the
Cuda.
green. Was that a Cuda?
Yep.
Yeah, the green Cuda.
Had my Rally.
Had your Rally in there one year. And there was
Had the-
another.
It's a
in there.
Yugo or something.
No, it was
No, had the
Yugo.
Cadillac truck,
Yes,
Yeah,
we had the
yeah.
Cadillac truck that was spectacular.
and then had the Buick last year.
Yes,
Yes. Stan's Buick.
Stan's
38 Gangster Special.
Yep. So
Well,
we-
your daughter used that on her departure from the reception on her honeymoon.
yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. And so we've tried to bring something to the table.
And this is cool. This is going to attract a lot of attention.
I hope so. Yeah.
At the booth, just because anybody with Mopar knowledge is definitely going to want to come put their eyes on this car, because it's not a car. First off, it's not a car that you see often. A true Mr. Norm's car.
I've
And
never
then-
seen one that I know of.
Well, yeah, just
and-
pictures.
And from what I understand, once we can get the interview on, there's a great backstory to this specific car that's kind of exciting as well. And, that'll make it even more interesting to people.
I think so too. And I don't know what the issue is over there.
Well, I think could be weather related stuff, something.
Yeah, I think we can get the video. I don't think we can get the audio. I think that's what he's struggling with, is getting the
well,
audio.
whatever the case may be.
Okay.
But there's the car.
Yep.
Are we showing more pictures of the car?
I can do it
Let's
again.
go through the car again, because it's a real pretty blue, and we're going to have a black curtain behind it, and it's going to be really cool to have that
You'll notice
car.
there's different wheels on it too. Those are the Keystone Classics
Yeah.
versus the Krieger style.
Yeah.
That's a nice interior. Look at that.
I know.
That's a big one. That's
Yeah.
the kind that when you're stopping fast, you put your arm out on the passenger to hold them.
To hold them back.
Awesome.
That's right.
And look, it's an automatic.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
I wonder if that's the tack in the top of the dash.
Or
and
the
top
clock
of
in the bottom by the shifter. We'll run through them again.
At any rate,
That's pretty.
we'll
But it's a 426 wedge. It's not a 426 Hemi.
and the difference is
It doesn't have the spark plug between the valves, the hemispherical heads.
Yeah.
A wedge evolved as the 413 and the 426. It's a regular side-by-side valves with a spark
So
plug.
they didn't make a 318
underneath it.
wedge.
Well, I think 318 would, or if not 318, but 383 would be
383.
considered a wedge motor as well.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty excited about it. Mars and I had been talking about it, and we'd ask somebody else, and they didn't want to. They didn't want to loan out their car, and then that's fine. I perfectly understand that. And then Mars says, I've got this friend of mine that I've known for a long time. Let me call him. I said, call him, see. Because I said, that'd be really cool if we could get that. And the guy agreed. So he's going to bring it over.
And this is actually going to be entered in Autorama.
Yes, it's going to be entered in competition.
Well, it was, all of them are. I mean, all the ones that have been in the booth in the past have been entered.
No, mine was never entered.
Okay.
No,
Mine
none of
was
the only one that was entered was the truck that we had a couple of years ago.
And he won his class.
No, he's second place.
Second place.
Well, it's still an award.
It is. And listen, if you win an award at Autorama, that's something.
Mm-hmm.
I never won an award at Autorama when I was showing back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay with it because I got to show my car.
At Autorama.
Well, it's just the talking point of I was in Autorama.
Well, there's
and
that.
Then the other talking point is I was in Autorama and won. So there's two.
Most definitely.
And then the third is I was in Autorama and won and was in the in-wheel time booth.
Yeah.
That's even more rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like getting a hot dog at the hot dog stand on Thanksgiving Day when there are no hot dogs available. None of the food booths are open on Thanksgiving. I guess
turkey dogs.
I assume that they think that everybody has eaten Thanksgiving dinner by the time that they're going to be there. I made the mistake because I was all ready for a hot dog one Thanksgiving a couple of years ago.
Well, that's your tradition. When you do that, you get your coney dog or whatever. You've always said that.
But not that Thanksgiving Day. Nothing was open. No food booths were open.
Well, the other cool thing is a number of the people that work for Autorama, they volunteer in the morning to do the in the morning to do the food giveaway.
Well, Larry does.
Larry.
Yeah. So at any rate, I thought that was pretty cool, and we're really excited about it. Sorry we couldn't talk to Jim, but that's just the way that it is sometimes. It's always this way, kind of,
sort of,
many times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At any rate, coming up later on in our show, we're going to have an interview with Jason Feldman, whose dad, Stephen Wolf, makes the general manager role over there at Helfman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram over on the Katy Freeway. There was a story that ran across on Automotive News a couple weeks ago about Houston. The headline is Houston dealership police take on fraud, and they'd been ripped off for $300,000 each year to customer ID fraud.
Oh gosh,
yeah. So you can just imagine what that's about, and the tricks that people use to go in and basically steal a car. With fake
identity fraud.
Basically identity fraud. And the dealership doesn't know because they've got all the stuff there. Well, that ain't happening no more.
Well, they've got what they think they need, but it's not legit.
Right. Yeah. So that's pretty ugly. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. Our address here is info@inwheeltime.com. I know that you have
don't
over
forget
there,
to subscribe.
Conrad. Yeah, huh?
Subscribe
to our feed.
Or we'll come get you.
Yeah,
to Facebook or YouTube, either one of them.
Or our website.
The podcasts.
Or our website.
Or
time now for the events calendar, Conrad. And today, not so much.
Yeah. The events calendar it's raining and a lot of people canceled. But, there's always other stuff going on. I'm wondering, and I didn't call Bill to find out, if they're doing the downtown Bastrop 17th Annual Heroes and Hot Rods Veterans Day weekend. I would imagine so, because that's a pretty big event over there. They'll have...
and right now, it's not raining.
Yeah.
There's only a 30% chance of rain today.
But it's still ugly.
And
it is
very ugly.
Last I heard, he had 300 registered, 400 openings, but it was filling up. So, 400 car show is pretty cool. So other things going on. Again, we just talked about at the George R. Brown Convention Center Thanksgiving weekend is Autorama World of Wheels and the Cavalcade of Customs. We'll be there doing the show live from 8 to noon, a 4-hour broadcast on Saturday. So come on out and say hi and enjoy
The Mr. Norm's car.
the Mr.
Yeah.
Norm's car and
Enjoy-
Autorama in general.
Yeah, Autorama in general.
And then, other stuff going on. The 4th annual Memorial Benefits Taps and Turbos cars at No Label Brewing in Katy.
Today?
Well, they were supposed to be, but yeah.
Listen,
weather
if I'm a
permitting.
car
everything
guy,
in
I ain't
town-
taking my car
You think
out of
everything
it.
in town canceled?
Pretty much,
A lot
yes.
of, the site
Even
I watch.
football games were canceled last night.
Yeah.
Monday's going to be a complete washout from what the weatherman says, if you believe the weatherman.
There's some kind of big L floating around out there, and we're all going to, I think Locust is coming, all kinds of stuff.
Lucas, yeah, that's it.
The 7 plagues.
Yeah. But the big thing is put on your calendar Autorama,
Yep.
which is in a couple of weeks. Thanksgiving weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You'll really enjoy
We'll
it.
be there.
Time now for this hour's car review, and Mr. Mars has the Jeep Compass.
Yes, sir. We
Kona.
had the 2023 Jeep Compass Altitude 4x4. Now, you may not have heard of the Altitude as far as the Compass goes. There's actually 5 trim levels of the Compass this year. There's the Sport, the Latitude Luxe, and the Limited, and the Trailhawk. Now, I say it that way because the Altitude is actually a package off of the Latitude, much like the high altitude.
Sounds
is a
like some
package
sort
off
of
the Limited.
dance.
But it's
I
not
know.
really a trim. They don't count it as a trim level, but it's listed in parentheses by the trim levels.
Theoretically, it is.
Yeah. So it's the Altitude. Anyway, so this is a small crossover SUV. To me, it's some people consider it a subcompact, but it's really kind of big to me to be a subcompact. It's smaller than the Renegade, but it's larger than the Cherokee, so it kind of fits in between those two in the Jeep lineup. You're going to see that it's got the 7-slot Jeep grille up front. It has a really nice two-tone black and red line pearl color scheme on it. And it's got black badging, and it's got the black wheels on it. So it's a black and red thing, and it really looks sharp, particularly with that red paint on it. Up front, you're going to find the red sensing wipers, LED lighting, fog lights. You're going to find that it's got the cornering headlights on this vehicle, too, so they kind of cock a little bit when you go around the corners. Power liftgate, 18 by 7-inch black wheels. It's a really nice-looking combination of color that they've done with this. You go into the interior, you're going to find that you got the black cloth and vinyl seating surfaces. It's kind of a combination there. Got the Uconnect 10.1-inch screen. So that 10-inch screen is really nice and large in the dash of this vehicle. This is where you're going to find all your convenience controls, your navigation. It's got the 360-degree camera, so you can see all the way around it. Got USB ports in the front, and it's got 2 in the rear seating area, but they're charge only so that your rear passengers can charge their devices. Got wireless charging up front, Apple CarPlay, Android, got all that good electronic stuff. The front seats are heated, and the rear seats, the second row seats, are a 60/40. There is no third row in this vehicle,
Something
fortunately.
tells me that this is not red.
No, it's not. But take my word for it. It's a beautiful red car.
And this one's blue.
This one's blue, but they didn't have any
With-
pictures,
with
and
stock
it was
silver and
raining,
blue.
and I didn't get pictures.
And here's Mr. Photographer over here.
Yeah, and the rain got me on several things.
Yeah, they call that Kona
So-
red.
This year for new, it's got a 2.0-liter inline 4-cylinder that's turbocharged. It's new for this year. 200 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque. It's got an 8-speed automatic transmission, and properly equipped, it will tow 2,000 pounds. Now, the EPA says you should be looking for 24 in the city, on the highway 32, and combined at 27 miles per gallon. Now, I drove 376.8 miles. It got 25.8 miles to it, and I was very happy with that, considering the way I drove it. Now, it's reported that this will go 0 to 60 in
I'm
8.3
afraid to
seconds.
ask.
It is trail rated,
Fat
so
foot.
it's got a firm off-road type ride to it. That's part of the Jeep. You don't buy a Jeep to be a sports car. You don't buy it to be a luxury car and float down the highway. You buy it because it is a Jeep. And so don't buy it for road handling and things like quartering on a road course, because that's just not what this vehicle is made for.
But I'm sure that you checked it out on the on-ramp acceleration test that you always do.
That's how I
That's
know
next.
how well it goes there.
Uh-huh.
So the base model price on Jeep Compass, you can get one of these in the stripper version for $29,995. So it's slightly under $30,000. The base trim price on the one that we had is $32,670.
That's not bad.
But we had some options. Packages, $41,905 MSRP.
Oh,
Now, if you're looking for something to compare this to, you're shopping in this category, the Mazda CX-50 is going to start at $31,675. So it's a little bit more. The Honda CR-V is $28,410, so it's a little bit less. And the Subaru Forester at $26,395 is a little bit more or less. But they're all right there in that category, so it kind of depends on if you want something that's more geared towards possibly going off-road, or if you want something that's a little more for the highway or in-town driving. But they're in that same class. I personally think the Compass is a little bit bigger than the other ones. It just feels bigger and looks bigger. I did not get the measuring tape out on it, obviously, because I didn't get the camera out to take the pictures of the red vehicle. But I think it's a little bit bigger, and it's one of the bigger vehicles in that category. And that's my review of the 2023 Compass.
Yeah, when I saw it, I wouldn't put that in the compact SUV segment. I thought
it was subcompact.
Yeah, or subcompact.
Yeah, it'd be the compact.
Yeah, I thought it was.
That's where I would think it would go.
I just call it midsize. It's just it's a tweener.
It's a tweener, but it's not as big as the midsize.
No.
And
when people shop for size vehicles, you can put whatever label you want on it. I like that one, and that's
right.
what they buy.
I'll take the
I don't
red
know
one.
Anybody, none of my kids or anybody else that's ever said, I'm going to go find me a compact SUV.
Yeah.
No.
I never have either.
They go out there and they say, I like this one.
And you know,
what people buy on emotion.
And when they have these press junkets that we used to go on all the time, they always tout about the fact that best in class,
yes,
in cargo area. Well, really? By what? 2 inches? You'll never be able. No, it's not about that.
It's a way to say something. I mean, it's
Marketing.
Marketing. That's the way to put it.
Hey, this program's available 24/7 on iHeartRadio. Just check in Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. 30-minute podcasts at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there, too. We'll see you then.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back! Thanksgiving weekend! The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama! At the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars. The ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics. See Lone Star Throwdowns, Texas-sized truck spread. And don't miss the traditional rod and custom section. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, see wild, high-flying, freestyle motocross stunt shows. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend on the celebrity stage. Presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration. Friday, meet AEW Tag Team Superstars, the Lucha Bros. Saturday, it's Noel G. Hector from the Fast and Furious. Sunday, it's Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. November 23rd through 26th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts.